Welcome to the St. Catherine North Community Safety and Security Branch virtual discussion. Thank you for joining us.
The St. Catherine North Police is committed to serve, protect, and reassure the citizens of this division through enforcement of the Commander's intent, public order enforcement, managing activities within our town centers, Spanish Town and Linstead, hotspot controlling, occupying spaces that are prone to violence and regular occurrences of crime, anti-gang activities, pursue, capture, and prosecute gang members, community engagement, building sustainable partnership with our citizens and stakeholders. This is St. Catherine North Police.
Building confidence and credibility. Through partnership and trust. This is the St. Catherine North Police.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us for this, the first Family Empowerment Virtual Discussion for the year 2026. And we are your hosts. I am Sergeant Kester Fennell, and with me is
Corporal Chantel C. Fowler, and it's an absolute delight to be on here with you this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Wonderful. And this evening, we want to kickstart our year with a year in review. And last year, 2025, for us here in the St. Catherine North Division, and by extension, the JCF for Jamaica, was an absolutely amazing year in terms of the work and the effort from the police and the results that we have been seeing. We have seen the lowest murder rate in our country in over 30 years. And for that, we must say kudos to the police for the hard work, and not just to the police, but to every single law-abiding citizen that gave their own input and their contribution to that kind of result. And we just want to say a big thank you, and we want to do a year in review for 2025 for the St. Catherine North Division.
Absolutely, and we want to ensure we start the year properly as well.
That's right.
Let me apologize for the late start. We were scheduled for 5:30, but circumstances beyond our control, we are starting now. So we do apologize for that, and we look forward to have a very fruitful and insightful engagement with our commanding officer. But before we get to that discussion, Sergeant Fennell, what was the most exciting thing about last year for you?
The most exciting thing about last year for me, and we're talking about from a law enforcement perspective, okay.
Absolutely.
I think the most exciting thing last year was seeing the transition that has been taking place in the JCF in terms of the direction that we have been going, the transformation thrust that we have been experiencing, and to see how Jamaicans have actually rallied around the JCF and have been throwing their support behind the police. I believe that that has made the world of difference for us in terms of the successes that we're seeing. Because the truth is, we cannot police our citizens. We have to police with our citizens. So it's a partnership. And I am proud of the partnership that we have seen developed and see the growth we have seen taking place in last year. So that for me was the most exciting thing.
That's good, and it's similar for me. The partnership that we saw with our stakeholders, communities, and the police was amazing, and continues to be like that. This year we are celebrating 158 years
That's right.
as a force, and our mission this year is to strengthen our people, strengthen our bonds, and to strengthen Jamaica. And here in St. Catherine North, we are policing with consent
That's
and
right.
strategic intent. So we know that our stakeholders play a vital role in law enforcement, and we want to send a shout out to you right now. So we do have some very important stakeholders on our show this evening. We have His Worship the Mayor Councillor Norman Scott. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. Your presence means a lot to us this evening. We have Miss Jacqueline Ellis, CEO of the Spanish Town Hospital. Thank you, ma'am, for joining. We are grateful for you. And we have from the Restorative Justice, Miss Samantha Webb. Thank you. The Restorative Justice has played such a vital role in all that we do here, especially at the Community Safety and Security Unit. So thank you, Restorative Justice, for your efforts in the reduction that we've seen in major crimes in our division. We have persons from the St. Catherine Ministers Fraternal. We have Justice of the Peace. Thank you all for joining, and to our faithful viewers, thank you for being here this evening. And before we get any further into this program, we did it last year, we've done it the years before, and we're doing it this year again. We can't do anything without the presence of Almighty God. So we have another important stakeholder from the Disciple Covenant Ministries, the Reverend Fitzroy Williams, who will be praying for us at this time.
So over to you, Sir Williams.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. And I just would like to add my appreciation for the work that the police continue to do. And indeed, it is a partnership. And from the church's vantage point, we continue to partner with the St. Catherine North Police, and we really appreciate the work. And I can say, as a community stakeholder, we have benefited significantly from the hard work, the dedicated work that the police have been doing. And so it is with this in mind, I'm very honored today to be asked to pray the opening prayer for this evening's event. And I know that this evening event will be long remembered, as it will make an indelible mark in the hearts of all those who will come and hear. Shall we pray? Father, we thank you for this gathering. Lord, we thank you that you have made it possible. There are so many wrong that is being done over the internet and through technology, but I thank you, Lord, that at this particular moment, there is something right taking place here. I pray with the Lord that the impact of what is happening here now will flow over into the areas and spaces where wrong is being done, so that God, right and positive things can win and do those things that are wrong. We thank you for the achievement of the St. Catherine North Police, and by extension, the entire Jamaica Constabulary Force. We pray, Lord, that they will continue to report this way, that they have had a wonderful year at the end of their year's review. We pray, God, for the speaker. We pray for everyone who have come to this evening's event. Lord, help them to recognize the weight of responsibility that is placed on them, that as they come and listen, and as they have been harmed with information, that God is now their opportunity to take it back to where they're serving, in the hospitals, in the courts, in the communities, in the churches, wherever their place of impact is. I pray, oh God, that that will be done. We ask, oh Lord, that you will allow for no interferences of electricity or internet interruption, so that this evening proceeding can be smooth and comes with clarity. That God, we pray that any kind of spirit of ambiguity will not be tolerated here today. I do not know what to pray for in its entirety concerning this gathering, but one thing I know, Lord, that you know what our needs are. And so, Father, I ask in the name of Jesus that according to your will, let it be done for us, that today's gathering will be a success. Lord, we ask that you'll continue to be with those who are master of ceremony of this event. Give them clarity, fluency, and help them, Lord, that as they help us to understand better what we are gathered here for, that together, Lord, we can all say at the end of the proceedings, it was good for us to be here. Thank you for hearing us now. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. And thank you so much, Reverend Williams, for
Thank you, sir.
and for your continued partnership with us here in the St. Catherine North Division. Now, we do want to say welcome to some other stakeholders that we have on here with us this evening. I want to say a big welcome to our very own Inspector Ishmael Williams, the Territorial Officer for the St. Catherine North Division. Welcome to you, sir. And we also want to say a big welcome to Sergeant Constantine Evans, Sergeant Noblet Davis Leachman, Sergeant Mighty from the Brownsville Police Station. And I want to say to all the other officers on our platform this evening, a big good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you
I
so
also
much.
want to say welcome to some persons. We recognize that we have some or at least one representative from a media house here, Miss Mishka Spence, who is representing IRIE FM, and she's on here with us this evening. I'm not sure if there's any other representative from any media house. If so, you can indicate, and we will give a special shout out to you.
Oh, yes, indeed. I think our audience is ready and rearing to go. They want to hear from our commanding officer. You know,
That's right.
what the division has been up to, where do we intend to go, and to engage the citizens and audience as to plans going forward.
That's right.
I want to also use this opportunity to let you know that you can prepare your questions and ask the commanding officer at the end of the program. There will be a segment allotted for that. All right. So we thank you so much, Mr. Vernon. Thank you for joining. We appreciate your presence here, sir.
Right, and he says that he's from Bart the Truth media blogger, Bart the Truth blogger. Thank you very much for joining us. So,
All right.
ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, without further ado, we are about to head into the meat of the matter, so to speak. We have with us our commanding officer, Senior Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, and he will be sharing with you this evening the successes of the year 2025 and what some of the plans are in place for the St. Catherine North Division for the year 2026. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a listening ear to our commanding officer, and you can, while you listen, you can jot down your questions that you may have, because there will be a segment where we'll be having a discussion where you will get to chime in and you'll be able to ask some questions, make some comments, and if you have any concerns, we can see how best those concerns can be addressed.
Absolutely.
So, Sir Nicholson, it is over to you, sir. You can feel free to turn your camera and your microphone on, and we hand over to you at this time.
All right. Thank you very much, Sergeant Fennell and Corporal Powell. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our stakeholders. Good evening to our officers. Good evening to all the friends of St. Catherine North Police Division. My name is Hopton Nicholson, and I'm the divisional commander. I just want to add my word of welcome to you to this, our family empowerment session, where I'll be going through, just sharing with you some of the successes, some of the challenges, and how we overcame last year in a nutshell, as well as talk about how we will be going forward this year, police in the St. Catherine North Division. Now, the St. Catherine North Division has had a remarkable year for the year 2025 with some major achievements. We have made some notable strides in reducing crime, fear of crime, and we have apprehended a number of wanted men, seizure of illegal drugs, illegal firearms, or prohibited weapon. And we also had an impact on organized crime in St. Catherine that also impacted the island of Jamaica. These achievements, it had created a safer environment for all. Well, the St. Catherine North, for those of you who do not know, I'll just tell you, up to 1996, the parish of St. Catherine was policed as one police division. And in 1996, it was separated into St. Catherine North and South. So just to give you a bird's eye view from Jose Marti all the way to Macookspin along the bypass and Olaba Road, all the way northerly to the border with Clarendon and St. Andrew, and St. Catherine South is to the south of that, as well as we also border St. Anne and St. Mary in the northeastern area. So St. Catherine North is the largest police division in Jamaica. Yes, it is the largest police division, and it encompasses 14 police stations. It is filled with challenges from domestic disputes, public order, and it is also known to be the home of two of the most known gangs in Jamaica. In the year 2025, we in the St. Catherine North, we had many issues to deal with, and despite these numerous issues to treat with, we took on the mantle of keeping the peace, maintaining law and order, and ensuring that the law-abiding citizens are allowed to live, to work, to do business, and to enjoy their lives in a peaceful environment. Now, as a division, we have embarked on the following, and we will continue. Public order and public safety. That is managing our activities within our town centers and our major thoroughfares. And as you are aware that both highways, north-south and east-west, have entrance and exit in St. Catherine, in the parish of St. Catherine North and St. Catherine South. So it is easy to access, and St. Catherine is located in the center of the island. So it is a major transient point for individuals. We also embark on controlling hotspots, that is occupying spaces that are prone to violence. And we do this on a 24-hour basis, trying to prevent crimes, because we know that within some of these areas that we consider to be hotspots or troubled areas, majority of the citizens are law-abiding and only a few persons are there to make their lives miserable. So we try to keep them safe while trying to apprehend those who choose to go against the law. The other one is anti-gang activities, and our aim is to disrupt these gangs so that their activities can be lowered to almost a stage of being dismantled. So we pursue gang members to prosecute them. We aim to disrupt their activities and to degrade them to a level where they are dysfunctional or they are no longer in an organized group. The other activity is community engagement, and this we don't take lightly. Community and stakeholder engagement. As Sergeant Fennell stated, that we police with the consent of the people, and that is in a controlled way. We engage. We want to know what our citizens are thinking and how we can best approach to treat with these requests, and also to know of them what they request of us. And within the policies and the laws, we try as best to deliver. So our community engagement and stakeholder engagement, we build sustainable partnership with our citizens and have regular engagement with our stakeholders. And we do not take this for granted, like I said. Final one is capacity building and welfare. We aim to equip our members with the updated skills and expertise to respond to the citizens' needs, while at the same time ensuring that the members' welfare are addressed. Now, as things evolve, as crime change, as a crime pattern changes within the society, as things happen, we know that we have to keep up with the trends so as to understand the community, to understand the space, and also to respond in a practical way. And with that, we do training, we do courses that can equip our members to ensure that persons are able to treat with citizens' requests. Now, even though the year was challenging for us in St. Catherine North, with the available resources, we really did a lot, along with our stakeholders, to reduce crime across the division. We worked tirelessly. We developed strategies to cauterize the movement of criminals across the division and by extension the country. And like I said, the position of the location, the geo, location of St. Catherine North, where it is easy to enter and exit both highways to reach to the northern part of the country or reach to the southern or the eastern part of the country or the western part of the country. It is easy based on the highway, easy entrance, easy exit. So we have a lot of transient. Our transient population is very high. And while we use these transient for good, those who have criminal intent try to use it for evil as well. No, we really look at the efforts. And let me just quickly run through the crimes that were reported for 2025 compared to 2024. I want to give you an overall picture of what we had to deal with last year. But I can tell you, before I even go into 20 years ago, St. Catherine North probably were recording probably over 200 murders for the year. And it has been within the last 20 years, maybe 3 out of the last 20 years, that St. Catherine North did not record over 100 murders. 3 of the last 20 years, St. Catherine North did not record over 100 murders. So it is normally one of those divisions that has a high level of murders, high number of murders reported, and we have to treat with that. So for the year 2024, there were 94 murders. That's 2024. And last year, with the efforts of everyone to include external resources, we managed to end the year at only 65 murders. As a matter of fact, 2024 was 95 murders, and we had 30 less murders in 2025. And that's a 31.6% reduction. And we attribute this to strategic policing, engagement with our stakeholders who are no longer interested in living in a society where crime has become the norm, and also the policy and direction of the High Command that has assisted us greatly with external resources at times when they are needed. For shooting, there were 76 murders, 76 shooting, compared to 57 for 2025. That's a 21% reduction. Now, I want to say something about the rape. The rapes had an increase, but what I want to tell you is that the number of persons who were affected last year was not more than the year before. So we had 26 rapes last year, 26 in 2024, compared to 44 in 2025. But the number that were reported in 2025 most of them did not occur in 2025. They occurred years ago, months before, but they are now reported. So it is a situation where persons are now confident to report these incidents to the police, and they are being treated. And I will also state that we have to look at some of how we are socializing, especially our boys. We have persons that we have charged for sexual offenses, serious sexual offenses, from age 12 to as old as age 80. And we also notice that a large number of these perpetrators, they are relatives, cousins, uncles, grandfathers. These are the fathers. These persons are some of the perpetrators in these situations. We also saw an increase in break-ins and larceny. And the larceny that we're talking about is larceny of motor vehicles. The truth be told, we have seen a decline in the rate coming down to the end of the year because we put some strategies in place. We have held on to some major players. We're talking about players who are in the stolen motor vehicle ring that spans 6 or 7 parishes. We have persons in custody. For the break-ins, we realize that a lot of persons have suffered their property being stolen, shops and houses. However, we have seen a decline in the rates coming down to the end of 2025 into the first part of 2026. We have, since the year start, we have at least 7 persons in custody. We have recovered a large quantity of items valued at over $3 million so far. And we believe that we are taking strides. The ease of getting in and out of St. Catherine North is one of the factors. And so we have found a way to reduce the opportunity for some of these criminals to commit crime. So what we are doing, we have some strategies, which I will not explain in detail, but so far it seems to be working. As recently as last night, one man was held for breaking into a bar. And we realize that if we continue to apply these strategies, the rate will continue to decline until it reaches to a low level. We wish it was zero, but knowing mankind, some persons are always dishonest and will try to do things the illegal way. Now, like I said, the last daily break-ins are of concern. I just want to use this opportunity to remind individuals, especially persons who have business, to ensure that they securely lock their places. And what they can do is to try and have some additional eyes, such as CCTV, that you have off-site recording. You have backup up for at least 90 days, so we can use it to garner some evidence and to identify perpetrators. What we realize that a lot of perpetrators, when they are caught, we realize that they have affected multiple persons across parishes. And so we want persons to report it. There are some persons who fail to report it, but let us know one single fingerprint at your premises or on your property could assist in conviction, in the successful prosecution of one of these perpetrators, because in most instances we have seen that they are not only one, that is not the only offense that they are caught, but when the fingerprint and the other aids, electronic aids are used, we realize that they have been terrorizing multiple premises, both commercial and domestic. So now we just want to focus. So our investigators last year, we just want to laud them. We want to big them up. We ensure that the best evidence have been gathered. We use technological aids, scientific aids, to garner the best evidence that can stand up to scrutiny and secure conviction. So for the year 2025, the St. Catherine North recorded a 66% clear-up rate for murders. What does that mean? It's not just that 2 out of every 3 murders have been cleared. I want you to take away from this that you are twice more likely to be caught and taken into custody and be charged than to get away. That's a lesson. That's one of the things I wanted to take away from this. So out of every 3, we managed to clear 2 by arrest last year. And so we are working tirelessly this year to ensure that persons who commit such grievous crimes will face the court. So our investigators have been working tirelessly, and I just want to use the opportunity to commend them and to commend the citizens who are no longer covering up for their relatives or friends. You know, they tend to, they're more cooperative now, and that's how we have garnered some of the evidence. Now, when it comes to our community and stakeholder engagement, we have improved. We have deliberately convened meetings, and some of you will have seen, whether it be pastors, whether it be a various community, whether it be the political persons who are of the political. Last year was a highly political year. We had meetings with a lot of political candidates. We have meeting with the justice of the peace. We have meeting with the educational administrators, and so forth. So we have, while we have general, widely publicized meeting, we also have specific meeting where we look at the situations that are affecting, the issues that are affecting the various groups and try to address them as best as practicable. So they express their needs to us and we express our strategies, and we sometimes have tailor our strategies so that it can fit into the way they want. But having that conversation, it brings a lot of clarity so we can understand each other. Our administrative department, you know, for every department, for every organization, you have to have an axis. Our admin department is what I consider to be the axis, where it keeps me in check, it keeps every operative in check. They manage the court, they manage the lockups, they offer services at the general offices, all of those permits that you apply for, they ensure that the laws are adhered to and the policies. They are the ones who coordinate the training sessions for us. They are the ones who provide a lot of the materials when you see we come to meetings, so that we have that synergy. They help us to create that synergy. A lot of them are operating behind the scenes. So we just want to laud the contribution of these members who ensure that all the policies are adhered to, the capacity building is improved, and all the other areas of the division are operating at the required level. So our administrative staff, they work very hard as well to ensure that in the policies are adhered to. We have the necessary things, the items from the stores, the vehicles are maintained, all of these things. So it's a part of our success, even though you may not see them on the road as often, but they do go out as well. Now for operational thrust for 2025. You know, it has been the topic of many private and public conversations. Our operational efforts led to the recovery of 74 illegal firearms when compared to 64 for the previous year, 63 for the previous year. 11 more firearms were recovered in 2025. And this is no ordinary thing. We know there are a lot more out there, but the efforts of our police officers, when you look at that, that is 74 firearms that could have been used in murders and shootings if they have not, because the ballistics will show whether or not which scenes they were, if they had been used at any of the scenes. So we can trace that as well. So we just want you to know that the efforts of our operational thrust was consistent. We went after wanted men. A lot of them are no longer in St. Catherine. They are in other parishes. We went all over. Just a point there. I hope you're looking at the message. Sergeant Fennell, a lot of persons saying they are not allowed to let in. Just check the message here. A lot of persons that are waiting in the room to be let in, please. All right. So our operational thrust have led to the seizure of the number of firearms, a lot of illegal drugs, a lot of violence producers. Some of these persons who believe that they can go under the radar, they can operate under the radar. Our intelligence community is working very hard. So we pursue a lot of persons. So we know a lot of them. If they go to St. Anne, we are coming for them if they are wanted by us. If they go to Portmore, we are going for them. If they go to St. Thomas, we have gone all over this place. We have gone to Clarendon to apprehend wanted men. We have gone to Manchester. We have gone to St. Thomas. We have gone to St. Anne on multiple occasions. Wherever they go in this country, to include 12 Mile Out to Sea, and I tell you, if they even go into a foreign country and if they are wanted, we prepare the warrant and we send for them. So as soon as they are back in Jamaica, they are in our custody and they will face the judge to answer to their crimes. So our operational activity included a lot of vehicular checkpoints and deliberate roadblocks. I know some of your citizens do not like when we're out there, but let me tell you, we cannot quantify the number of murders or shootings or larceny or break-ins that we have prevented by just being out there. There are a lot of persons who are coming in and they turn back, because I can tell you, it's no secret that a lot of persons use pilots. So they have a bike man or a car person 2, 3 cars ahead of them. And what they do, they say to see if police is there. Is police out there? They find their way and they turn back, or they try another route, or they go for another day. You never know that that other day may not happen probably till 4 or 5 months down the line, because they will never know. They do not want any surprise, a lot of criminals. So we are always out there. We will be always stopping and checking. And a lot of times when we are there, a lot of you know that it is really looking for criminals. While we do traffic enforcement and traffic management, especially in peak hours, we do more traffic management than enforcement to get the traffic in. Because the truth be told, and the mayor is on, the infrastructure of Spanish Town and Linstead, the population has kind of outgrown it. So we have to manage as best as practicable to ensure that persons can get to work, get to their business, and get back home. So you see a lot of police out there in the mornings and in the evening. Those are peak hours to manage the traffic. For those unruly motorists, I can tell you that you will be caught as well. And there are times when a lot of you have been let off with just a warning, just because the police want to keep the traffic flowing. But we do not condone dangerous, reckless driving and for you to be blocking up the roads and so forth. So we want persons to understand that in our townships, in our residential spaces, we want people to go about freely. So you'll find us going into some spaces. You'll find us in our township. We find us carrying out operations. We ask that you cooperate with us. Cooperate with us. Because last year, this proved. I came from Linstead one night, Saturday night, about 11 p.m. and market was in full swing. The market in Spanish Town was in full swing. People coming in, buying their products, taking their taxi at 11:30 p.m. Linstead full swing on a Saturday night or on a Friday night. These observations is saying that persons are feeling safe to go about their business at night. And the police were out there too. We ensure that they're out there. And persons go, buy their products, take their taxi, go where they want to go, and they are safe. And for the most part, we have, since the past year or two, we have had less incidents, because we have on every day, we have persons in the town center, because we believe that our town center is where we should ensure that order is maintained and persons can go about safely. So with that, with the perception of safety and crime being low, you're going to find more persons going out there. I know the mayor don't mind when more persons are traversing, and we don't mind either. We just want persons to be orderly and that persons can go about their business in a decent, dignified way and not being hampered by persons obstructing them and parking in some areas. Now, so in going through, let me just speak to some of the activities that we have had last year. Like I said, 74 compared to 63 firearms. We seized over 443 rounds of ammunition. No, let me tell you, if it is a handgun, we can count 1 for 1, as in 1 live for 1, depending on how it is fired. If it is a rifle or a submachine gun, one of those rounds, depending on where they are, can take more than 1 life with 1 single shot. So we are saying that for the year, 443 rounds of ammunition. We can easily say we have saved 443 lives or more based on how it was used. We had over 630 targeted raids. These are raids that we planned compared to 600 the year before. We arrested over 2,031 persons for various offenses. And I know the general public understand that once there are laws, there will be some persons who breach these laws. And if you breach these laws, there is a mechanism for you to treat with, despite some of the minor ones, such as offensive weapons. And I can tell you straight off the bat, and you can tell everybody in your various communities, we are taking a zero tolerance to offensive weapons, because what we realize that a lot of persons where they can't walk with the guns because they are afraid of the 15-year sentence that may come to them. They're walking with scissors, knives, they're walking with ice bricks, and we are going to arrest and charge you for it if you can't prove that you are using legitimately for your job. And we suggest, as best as practicable, if you use it for your jobs, that you leave it at work as best as practicable. For snap raids, we did over 8,200 compared to 700. We raided over 7,700 premises compared to 5,000 for the year before. We deployed over 10,000 mobile patrols for the year. We searched over 27,000 persons. We conducted over 4,000 spot checks. And these are like 1,000 to 2,000 more than 2024. Motorcycles, we seized over 65 motorcycles. And I know some of you in some of these communities, some of these motorcycles, they give you a warm time with these loud mufflers. I will say to you that we try our very best, because a lot of them, they are not licensed. And for those of you who operate a company or you use the courier service of these motorcycles, ensure that they wear their helmets and that they are licensed to operate on the road. Some of these persons do not have a driver's license to operate the motorcycle. They have a learner's, which is not allowed under law with a learner's permit. You're supposed to have a driver's license to drive the motorcycle. Wanted persons held, we held 17, and those are properly wanted persons who we had warrants for. We conducted a number of patrols, joint patrols. We searched over 108,000 vehicles, spirit license premises, and I want to touch on this one as well. While last year we were a bit easy, we did a lot of public education along with the municipality and the Ministry of Health and the Solid Waste Management. We did a lot of public education last year, and a lot of spirit license premises, a lot of restaurants, a lot of persons. We pointed out the deficiencies that they're having and what they need to do. I can tell you, we're not coming to do so much warning this year. We have done a lot last year, but we'll be doing less warning this year and more prosecution. We pointed out those who do not have their license to operate, their spirit license, who do not have their amusement license, who do not have all the various certificates that are needed by law to operate. We warned a lot of persons, especially in Spanish Town. We warned a number of persons of what they need to do to ensure that they're complying with the law. Now, I can tell you, we will not be going to do warning this year. When we come out to the Ministry of Health, the Municipal Corporation, the Solid Waste Management, when we come out with the Agricultural Protection Branch and the betting, gaming and lotteries personnel, we are going to be enforcing. So we did a lot of education so persons can't say they did not hear. Who did not hear did not try to find out. So I just want persons to understand that while we educate, while we engage, while we empower persons, there comes a time when we will have to enforce. And we believe that order should be maintained. This is a warning. So you, for all 96 or more, I know a lot more than that, especially on the YouTube page, who are on this, I am sending it out as a warning. Persons who operate, especially food establishment and bars that do not have the required license or permits, we are asking you to ensure that you get the required permits, and so that all of these premises are operating legally. Now, I want to speak to, before I get into some other matters, I just want to speak to some issues. So last year, we had the general election. And for those of you who don't know, St. Catherine North has the largest, should I say, the most constituencies. We police 7 constituencies full, and plus a little part of the East Central St. Catherine constituency, and a little part of the Southern St. Catherine constituency. And I just want to, we believe that the citizenry, the general citizenry, they are politically mature, and we had a peaceful election on the St. Catherine North side. And commendation, when we called for meetings with the political representative, for the most part, they came. We had discussion as to avoid conflicts and so forth. And for the most part, I can say we got compliance. And I just want to say commendation to all the political representatives and their members who assisted us. We get a lot of complaints, but we use it as an opportunity to educate and to treat with all the issues that could have come to us. It was a peaceful election. There were a lot. The campaign was hot. A lot of spot meetings, a lot of impromptu meetings. But I just want to say that I think, for the most part, the citizens of St. Catherine North, they conducted themselves in a manner where we believe political maturity was displayed, and we had a peaceful election. We are one of the police division that started at we had police officers at every polling station by the time the polls were supposed to open. All of them were secured, and we give thanks for that. And all the logistics to complete the day's election was very good, and we give thanks for that. For the Hurricane Melissa, I just want to point out that some of our members were affected, some of our police stations were affected. We had issues. We had police officers at stations for 5 days. For the first 3 days, they couldn't leave anyways, so it doesn't make sense they leave. But they stood it out. We planned. We had our plan in place. We were an active part of the St. Catherine Parish Disaster Committee, and that was active right through. And I just want to commend all the members of the JCF, all the members of all the other agencies who were part of the St. Catherine Parish Disaster Committee. We met, we put our plans in place, we did what we were supposed to do, we give out the necessary advices as quick as we could, the Bagua Gorge, Barry, Sligoville, the whole works. And in real time, we had information, and I think that was very good. As a division, we are proud to have stakeholders to work with in such a way where the synergy was so good. If a road is blocked, if we do not get the required, if we do not get the persons who supposed to do it, somebody else will try. And the communication kept flowing despite the challenges with communication and electricity in some part. That was a plus for us in the way it was executed. And I say that based on the fact that having conversation with other divisional commanders, some of the challenges that they had, I did not have it. I just want to say kudos to our stakeholders, kudos to the police officers who were on the ground, to all who were part of the planning and execution across St. Catherine. We got a lot of rain, and I think we did extremely well in how we treated with it. I want to speak to two more things before I start taking any questions. For the year 2025, our Community Safety and Security Department did not just go around and kept meetings and went to schools and so forth. We have as a division, we have initiated a number of activities, which speaks well. And I whether Mr. Williams or Mr. Fennell, as I mentioned them, they can chime in. I want the general citizenry to understand that these things come with thinking, careful planning, and with reason to ensure that our citizens are safe, our children are safe, the spaces are safe. It is not something that we pull out of a cap. It's something that is carefully planned and executed. The first one we had the Peace in School ambassadors. Mr. Williams on, Fennell, I just want to inject right here and then for us to tell what these initiatives are so they understand that we care about citizens younger. We trying a transformation. We are part of the transformation of the society and not just the crimes. We're not looking at just the symptoms that come after, but we are identifying some issues. We are trying, along with other stakeholders, to try and fix some of these issues so that some of these persons can be, we can try to get some of these young men or young women in line so that their breaking of rules will not become breaking of law. So we are speaking of the Peace ambassadors in school, Peace in School ambassadors. Fennell, Ishmael?
Thank you so much, Sir Nicholson. A very, very informative presentation.
No, I'm
And
not through, you know. I just
we're
wanted to
not
speak
through.
to the. No, I wanted to speak
Or
to the
just to
peace
speak
ambassadors in
to
school for a minute. Peace
okay,
ambassadors in
wonderful.
school. Yes.
All right, so the Peace in School Ambassadors Program is something we have dubbed PISA. And what it is we go into the schools and we have selected 5 schools across the St. Catherine North Division, the schools that are on what we call the Safe School Program. And the Safe School Program is a program that has been in place in partnership with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of National Security, the JCF. And that has been in place for several years. And we have some schools across the division that have been highlighted as some hotspot schools, so to speak. So we have gone into those schools and we have asked them to identify students who are problematic or they are exhibiting maladaptive behaviors. But at the same time, they have leadership qualities. And they have identified those students. And what we did was we took them to a training program for a week. And then we sent them back into the schools to become ambassadors, peace ambassadors. So we trained them, we sent them in, and they have been supported by the school resource officers to help their continued development. And so far, we have been getting good reviews from the schools in terms of a good change in behavior taking place from these students. So it's about turning what was negative influence into positive influence. So that is what has been done with the Peace in School Ambassadors Program.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I am glad you explained it to say that persons we have identified with leadership qualities, we have somewhat, you along with our stakeholders, turn something bad into good. And that is the thing. We are not just here to prosecute or to enforce. We want to empower persons. We also have the learn and not loiter. And I know if you look, you see Sergeant Fennell, he was on the TV when he spoke of it, and their other police division are trying, well, they have copied it, which is good. Learn and not loiter. In the mornings, in the evening, we want the persons who their children who are sent to school by their parents that they go to school. So we patrol the bus stops, the areas where the bus are supposed to be and where they are not supposed to be. And we ensure that the children go straight to schools. We communicate with the various schools to see where, who is coming and so forth. And we want to ensure that the persons are not loitering before school or after school, because all the devil find works give idle hands to do. Another successful one that I wanted to speak of, Sergeant Fennell, is the Youth Academic and Mentorship Program. And let me tell you, this one, go ahead before I make my comments, Mr. Fennell. Maybe go ahead, speak about this one for me, please.
All right, so the Youth Academic Mentorship Program, or we have dubbed it YAM, is an academic program that we operate here at the Spanish Town Police Station. We teach mathematics to students, both PEP and the CSEC students, and this is done by Sergeant Howard Dyer. And we believe that Sergeant Dyer is one of the most prolific math teachers that you can find anywhere. He has an amazing way of simplifying things so that even students who are having difficulties at school can easily understand mathematics. And we have been using that program since 2021. And last year for CXC, we had over 80% passes in CSEC mathematics. So over 80% of our students that are here pass their mathematics exam for CSEC. And we continue to use that to help to mentor our young people and to try to create a positive change in them. And we are doing that through mathematics. We also want to see how best we can build out that program and add additional programs to it. We are in dialogue with a linguist who teaches both Spanish and French, who is willing to come on board, and probably in short order will be able to start offering that to persons. As well as we have another teacher who has partnered with us to assist the students with English language as well. So that is something else that we have going here that has been impacting our youth.
All right, thank you. I'm going to wrap up in 5 minutes. I know we have the questions burning. So I'm just going to wrap up in 5 minutes, but I just want to mention the last. So we launched a police youth club in Browns Hall, which is a relaunch, which was very good. We also have the strategic workshops on anti-gang activities targeting student gang violence. Friendly, let's give them a 1 minute overview with this one, so I can say my last bit and wrap up so we can take the questions. We have been on long.
All right, so the strategic workshop on anti-gang activities, or we dub it SWAGA, is where we pull students together from various schools, students who have been identified to be participating in gang-like activities or identified gangs within the school. And we conduct workshops with them, teaching them about gangs, the repercussions of getting involved in gangs, as well as we try to incorporate their parents in it as well, because it is important for the parents to understand how they can play a role in creating positive change in the young people. And so these workshops are conducted with the students from the various schools together, so as to help to give them a different view on the whole gang activity and what it is that they are doing and how it can impact their future. So that is being done with the hopes of diverting them from getting into gangs and choosing a different way.
And important.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
If I may, super importantly too, these social programs, we tend to take a psychosocial approach. So we involve stakeholders such as restorative justice who can come in and help students to understand what's happening, the psychology behind these activities. And so out of that now we derive at solutions to assist our students in the best way possible going forward.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know we could speak about this all evening, but let me tell you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. A lot of activities. While we enforce a lot, we are empowering a lot of persons. We want to change the next generation. We want them to improve. We want them to improve because we realize that they have a lot of role models that are not good role models. Finally, from me, before we take our questions, St. Catherine North has had a good year, and I am smiling now. No, we had what we call the Police Civilian Oversight Authority Awards. They call it TOPS Award, and I can tell you St. Catherine North topped it. So there were 7 awards awarded to police in Era 5. Era 5 has over 38 police stations. And the best station came from St. Catherine North, Browns Hall. And I just wanted to know, that's one. So of the 7 awards, St. Catherine North Police Division copped 4 of those awards. The best police station, Browns Hall. The best prisoner in custody, the Spanish Town lockups. I wonder if we're keeping it too cozy for them. Probably they don't want to leave. It is really clean in there. Even the judge, when they come in there, they say that it's really clean. It's not smelling like a cell at all. Probably we need to get it a little bit uncomfortable, Mr. Fennell. It's probably too comfortable. Yes, maybe too comfortable. But it's clean. There are human beings in it. Yes, there are human beings in it, and we believe in their human rights and human dignity.
Right. That is right.
Right. So we had the best prisoner cell at Spanish Town. We had the Legacy Award, and that is where a station that had a project that is benefiting the community and actually shows how much. And the Guanaba Vale Police Station won that award. We had the People's Choice Award. That's where persons voted on social media and all kind of platforms, and Guanaba Vale won that. So 4 out of 7 awards were St. Catherine North copped them. Now, I will also tell you that they had the Lasco Top Cup Awards. And I can tell you, we not only participated, we did not only make it to the finals. Right here in front of you, you have Corporal Chantel Powell, our Top Cup, Lasco JCF Top Cup Award for 2025-2026. And we are extremely proud of her. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not take it for granted, but we have a lot of excellent police officers. And I tell you, she went out and she represented, and St. Catherine North came home with that bragging rights. Corporal Chantel Powell, who is on your screen, she is our Lasco Top Cup. So I am a proud divisional commander, not just of the achievements in the crime front, but the fact that we were able to engage, the fact that we were able to be recognized by external agencies, not just our internal, our external agencies came in, did their independent assessment, their independent audits, and they found that we are doing some things right. We are doing most things right. And all we have to do is to improve. Going into 2025, we hope to improve on these. We hope not just to win awards, but so that persons can feel safe, persons can feel have a sense of confidence in their police officers at every station and every section. And I'm telling you that one of the things that I will not preside over is persons being disrespectful to persons in the public or persons being corrupt. And ladies and gentlemen, I implore you, if you find that persons in the St. Catherine North Police are corrupt or disrespectful to members of the public, report it. You never know where it may reach. Report it and let us look into it. Because what I tell my police officers, it is extremely difficult for different persons who are not related to tell the same lie on you. So we are not saying that we are trying to bring down our police officers, but there are one or two of them who do not, who refuse to conform to the rules and the policies. And we want to identify them. While we're bigging up and while we are lauding those who are doing well, we want the few bad apples to understand that they must change or they have to leave our company. It was good to talk to you today. We continue to solicit the support going into 2026. We have a lot to achieve, not just on the crime front, where we are going to be out there engaging. We're going to be out there looking, having that talk back session, finding out all the glitches, all the gaps that exist so that we can police with the consent of all of our various stakeholders. Thank you. And I think over to you, moderator.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Super. I realize that you wanted to continue. You know, this is this is lovely, sir, what you've presented, and I'm pretty sure persons are bursting to go with questions. But before
I see a lot of comments in the chat.
But before we get to the questions though, we have the sub-officer in charge of the Brownsville Police Station who caught the best police station in Area 5, Sergeant Natoya Mighty. I want to bring her on for a minute or two to just share with us, you know, what the preparation was like going into the TOPS competition, because I believe, I'm confident that the strategic oversight that we got last year, the improvement in oversight that we got last year also helped us to really score the scores that we got. And of course, we ended up being a division.
There you go.
So,
and in addition to telling us about the preparation, just tell us how it feels to be the sub-officer in charge of the top station in Area 5. So you can just go ahead and just respond to those two questions from Sergeant Mighty. Sergeant Mighty for you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
At Brownsville, we prioritize accurate records management. I have implemented a system where each member is assigned to a register. And I conduct weekly reviews to ensure that they are up to date and compliant with the JCF policies and procedures. This not only helps with accountability, but it also ensures we are prepared for any inspections. I'm confident in our team's ability to maintain transparency and integrity in our records. I was elated, truly humbled, and honored to receive the top ranking out of 39 stations within Area 5. It was a moment of immense pride, knowing that my team's hard work and dedication had paid off. I felt motivated to continue pushing forward, knowing that we had set a high standard for ourselves and the community we serve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sergeant Natoya Mighty.
And let me say that I share in your success and the pride that you have right now, because my first 8.5 years
We're not going to do this
career was spent in Brownsville. I served Brownsville for 8.5 years. So I love the fact that Brownsville took that award, and I am proud of you and the work that you and your team have been doing, Miss Mighty. Continue to do that work and keep making us all proud. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would say I would want to share in the success because I'm a former Zone 4 police, but
naturally.
Well, thank you so much, Sergeant Mighty, for sharing that with us, and we look forward to other stations in the division. So Shady Grove, this is a note to you, and G Vale and all the other stations over there, Flaglerville, Glen Gulf. above rocks, Linstead. We're calling on you to come up to the par as Zone 4 Browns Hall.
That's right.
And see if we can all have a tie. That would be so good.
That'll be good.
To have more than one
Make
stage.
it even more difficult for them next year.
Absolutely.
And this is what we call good, healthy rivalry.
Mhm.
And this is something that we love because what it does, it encourages everyone to do better. And that is what we want. You know, the JCF right now is about transformation and moving in a direction where the people and the police are working together.
Mhm.
And when we see these kinds of improvements taking place, not just in terms of how the operational thrust or in terms of record management, but when we recognize how police officers are engaging with their citizens professionally, this is what we want to see out there every single day. It's what every single citizen deserves, and it is what we are called upon to do. It's our obligation.
Right, and our
nation.
commitment to our people
That's right.
is service above self and service excellence. And I want to use this opportunity to also, make a call to our communities and stakeholders, invite the police officers to participate in your different engagement and
That's right.
activities. We are willing and ready. And if you have any school engagement, church, whatever community groups, the Community Safety and Security Unit is here, and we're ready to serve you, our people, to make our division proud, because indeed we are strengthening our people,
That is
strengthening
it.
our
That is it.
bonds, and strengthening Jamaica.
And I have to throw this in too,
Mhm.
because as the domestic violence liaison officer for the St. Catherine North Division, we continue to see a high degree of reports of domestic violence being made within the St. Catherine North Division. I want to encourage persons, if you know of incidents of domestic violence, please encourage persons to come forward to the police to make a report. And also, where you see it necessary, you can invite us in to come in, do some sensitization, do some presentations on domestic violence to help persons to better understand what domestic violence is and some signs to look out for and ways that we can prevent incidents of domestic violence. So please reach out to us. I am here, my team is here, and we are ready to engage and to share that information.
Oh yes, so now we get to engage you and you get to engage us, our
That's right.
audience. So we have this segment now running for the next 10 to 15 minutes where you can share your comments, ask your questions, and SSP Nicholson will be answering. And where necessary, the Community Safety and Security Unit will also chime in and give our feedback. So over to you.
We ask that you use the raise hand feature. And once you do, we will acknowledge you and you'll be allowed to ask your question. Or we see where persons may have placed it in the chat. Once we have an opportunity to do so, we will go through and as best as possible address as many of your questions or concerns as we can. So at this time, we want to invite persons to use the raise hand feature so that we can see and we can have you engaging in the conversation. Let's just check the participants list. All right, so we see Mr. Vernon Darby with his hand raised. You can go ahead, unmute your mic and go ahead, Mr. Darby.
Good afternoon to you all.
Good
I don't know
afternoon.
if it's a question or a suggestion or both, but I noticed that you guys are pretty good at communicating. I've been observing that section for a very long time. What we need to do is to change that culture of the whole police force of everything is confidential. So if, for example, something happens in Spalding, by the time you raise your hand, the information is in New York, London, all over the world. If you do not communicate with the public immediately, what will happen is that rumor, susus, will take over via social media. As I say, it doesn't apply to you because I think you guys do a good job of communicating. But the whole force, while PR is important, you need the moment something happens. You don't have to give details, you know. You don't have to say, well, all you need to say is that somebody was murdered in so-and-so, or some person were held up. I'd be amazed that when the information gets out, probably those troublemakers on social media will just probably take what you put out and help. So that is one thing I think we need to do, to communicate more. And there's one thing which doesn't apply to you, but to the whole force. When somebody commits an act, we need to tell them to pack their bags and go, not to another station, but to another place.
All right, thank you very much for that comment, Mr. Darby. We do appreciate it. But I also want to say that through the CCN and the work of CCN, that we have been engaging our public every single day in various ways. As a matter of fact, for the past 2-3 years, I believe, we have held the award for the marketing award. And so we know that we have been doing a much better job as it relates to.
Could I just interrupt you? When I make a comment, I know what is happening. I don't want to be specific now, but you're talking to somebody who has had a close relationship with the force probably over 30 odd years. And when I tell you that the communication, it don't reach nowhere yet. I know about another various heads, so I don't want to say anymore because I don't want to be too negative, but I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, enough has not been done. It doesn't make sense to stand and prepare a press release 2 days after or 3 days after. It doesn't work.
Thank you so much, Mr. Darby, for your comment, and we will definitely take your concerns into consideration.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think it's also important to highlight that we have made great strides. So even though there may be room for improvement,
watch the PR, my friend. I made a point.
Let's
go back on the PR. My point is solid.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darby, for your contribution here.
Thank you.
Right. So we also see Reverend Fitzroy Williams with his hands raised. Go ahead with your question or concern, Reverend Williams.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me just commend SSP Upton Nichols for his presentation and for informing us of all that the St. Catherine North Police Division has been doing. But I just want to indicate that there is a trending of young men who are very frequent in all the communities that I have noted. They're not working. They are just sitting on the street. I know that the heart program is going on. They have no interest in that. And as a pastor, they don't have no interest in the business of the church either. And I see a growing trend where those crime rates and burglary rate have gone down, yes, but then something tells me that we are gearing up for some trouble if we continue to have these vast number of young men in communities not working. We used to call them unattached youth. I don't know how much that is really so, but listen, they are not working and they're just sitting there. Life is going to make demand of them, and I know this soon will be the police problem. Sir, I don't know SSP if he can address this, if there's any way or any program that you referred to that could care to these young men to get them into a place where they can become productive members of society. Thank you.
Well, Reverend, multi-stakeholder engagement. I am also aware that the Member of Parliament and other political representatives have attempted to get them in the heart program as well. The truth is, while we try to mentor, there are limitations to some of the things that we can do so much and no more. But we will continue to look at them to see how best we can try. But I am aware of some of them that are being targeted by members like yourself, politicians, and other well-thinking, outstanding citizens in some of the communities, and they just blatantly refuse. There are persons who came to my office and said to me that they are trying, and the person blatantly refused. We will not give up, but as we go through with our activities, we'll try as best as practicable. But it's not a lost case in my opinion. But I just want persons to understand that you are one of many stakeholders who have tried to get them in this. And I'm talking about in your neck of the woods, which I know specifically, because persons came to my office and said they have tried and nothing came of it. But I don't think you should give up. I think you should continue to see how best you can impact them going through.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can I say I'm Ron Edwards and I'm trying to raise my hand. It's not allowing me. Could you count me in as hand raised number 4?
That's Bishop Edwards.
Yes, sir. Count me in
All
as hand raised number 4, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
We do have a few other persons, but since you already opened your mic, we're gonna allow you to go ahead.
Well, thank you, Mr. Fennell and your team. I really, really appreciate the work that you're doing, SSP Nicole. SSP is doing a tremendous job. You know, the church, we give a weekly report. We used to give a monthly report on murder and crime in particular, but we are giving a weekly report. And I'm telling you, sir, we are proud of what is happening in St. Catherine North and the island of Jamaica. For the first month in the year 2026, we see murder down to 33, and it's a long while we haven't seen that kind of reduction in murder. So we have to. The church is giving God thanks, and at the same time we're bigging up the police department for the tremendous work that you men and women are doing in helping to reduce murder in Jamaica. And as we see life coming back to the city, Spanish Town. We see life coming back, and the church, you know, we struggled in going out at nights. People were afraid to leave their homes to come out at nights, but even that is changing now. People are having more confidence in coming out at nights, and I know it is because of the reduction of murder. But one other key thing that I'd like you to raise, I was listening to hear if Sir Nicholson would raise that, and it's the taxi drivers, bus and taxi drivers. They're really creating mayhem, and you know, I think much more needs to be done in terms of disciplining those men and women who are driving taxis and buses. You know, they're so ill-mannered, so indisciplined, and so we need to get them in check. So I don't know what can be done. You know, could we raise the penalty a little bit more? Could we put some more teeth in the law to make sure that these guys adhere to the law? You know, they're affecting a lot of people out there. I'm afraid to, when I see a yellow bus come up, I'm afraid to push up my head. You know, so it's something that we need to look at seriously, where these taxi drivers and bus drivers are concerned. Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, Bishop. And I note your concern of quite a few individuals. I would tell you it's not a lack of prosecution. Just the other day, one bad driver on the road, I want to pull him over. He had 44 outstanding tickets. So he got ticket just the day before for something similar, for a similar driving. So it appears as if the ticket is not a deterrent to them. So what we did, we arrested and charged him. So we had somebody bail him. So now he has to go before the judge. But I use the opportunity to state that a lot of them who have outstanding tickets, the court has made an arrangement for them to come March 4th. But after that, more than 120,000. Well, the court have over 120,000 outstanding tickets. That's the parish of St. Catherine alone. And they're going to deal with what they can deal with. But those that are not dealing are going to turn to warrants. And we believe that the law is, I think the law is capable of treating with what is happening. However, because persons have operated so much and the warrants took so long to come, but I can tell you there's a new dawning. The judge informed us just last week that the warrants come in March. The warrants are going to be signed, so you're going to find a lot of them being off the road or without a driver's license. So I think there is some. So it is not just the police. The judiciary has realized that there are some issues as well, and I think together some action will be taken, and some of them will have to end up losing their license. But we continue to be strategic especially along the bypass in the morning, in the town center and so forth. And we try our very best. A lot of them play cat and mouse with us, but I can tell you, if you check a lot of their records, a lot of them have outstanding tickets. But I take your point, sir, and we'll continue to focus to maintain order, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bishop Edwards and SSP Nicholson.
Indeed.
Where I noted that His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Norman Scott, had his hand up. Are you still here, sir?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right. You can go ahead, sir.
Good evening to the moderators, both moderators, and good evening to SSP. And I want to just say, SSP, your presentation was such that I thought you were doing a lecture. I must really commend you for that. So well put together, well descriptive presentation. Of course, and I must say good evening to all the listeners and all the participants on the platform this afternoon. Let me commend the SSP and his team for this kind of event where you can meet with the citizens and give a fulsome update as to what transpired for the year 2025. And I must say, while you would have come to our council and on a timely basis and give us an update, this all goes well for the JCF and its directions. Of course, again, commendation to the commissioner and his team. It's a 30-year plus low in crime, and you know, wherever you are in the world and you think about Jamaica, people always say, "Oh, Jamaica crime." I see that trend is changing and changing fast, because I think that the best place on earth is Jamaica. The nicest place on earth is Jamaica. And as SSP alluded, that he has seen a great change in the way people are going about their business in and around St. Catherine North area. Well, in and around Jamaica, to be honest, because people are feeling more confident and comfortable in going about doing their business. I can say it because as a person in charge of the municipal areas, I fought at times out late, just observing what is happening. And I feel the confidence that is overwhelming in the country, and of course St. Catherine North. So let me just use my little time to really commend the team. I won't make any concerns. I will just say kudos to the team and continue, because Jamaica, land we love, and we want to see Jamaica the best place on earth. And as someone who is from the baby boomers years, I recall the days when Spanish Town used to have only one jump out. I mean, police in the entire area. I recall those days. A little Jeep that never had any top used to roam the entire Spanish Town. And things were nice. See, we're getting back there, SSP. So commendation to you and the team. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, our Mayor, Councillor Norman Scott. Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts and comments. We are grateful that you were on for the entire program. Thank you so much. That's commendable, Mayor. Thank you so much for being here, sir, and for sharing.
And we do have a few persons with their hands raised, so I'm gonna call the names in order. We want to allot just about a minute to each person to say what you need to say and see how best we can respond to those questions or concerns within that 1 minute, because you know it's already after 7 and we would like to bring the program to a close. So we have Mr. Robert Luars, Mr. Demar Stewart, and Mrs. Lola Green Blake. So we will take you in that order. So Mr. Robert Luars, you can open your microphone and go ahead.
Yes, a pleasant good evening to you and Happy New Year. And well, as a matter of fact, I came by the station recently and I congratulated Corporal Powell. So I should congratulate her again. Okay, and my good friend Sergeant Fennell, I'm so happy that just as you leave Brownsall, up there get up there get the congratulations.
That is right. Standard maintained.
Yes, but SSP Nicholson, I just want to outline something to you as a justice of the peace. I am so concerned more time when I am at work. My office is at Bodles Research Station, the Ministry of Agriculture place down there. And sometimes I am doing a project and I see the police is calling for 2 JPs to come and do a caution statement, like in the middle of the day or sometime at 3 o'clock and so on. Couldn't the police organize something that caution statement be done like down in the evening, like after 5, going up to 6, 7 o'clock? Because at that time, I must tell you, I am available at that time. And when I reach home, I don't turn off my phone. I have my phone on to hear if Spanish Town police will call me. So I'm just throwing out something that after 5, so going up, right, you know, I think that is the best time the police can do a caution statement, because most of us JP are back home at that time and we can rush to the station. And finally, I just want to say congratulations, sir, to you and the team to reduce crime significantly. I won't say congratulations to my good friend Sergeant Fennell, but I will say to Corporal Powell that like how you will let us proud, I will ask the government to give you a 100% increase in salary and give Sergeant Fennell only 5%.
Thank you so much, Justin.
So, okay. Right, so okay then, and thank you, and God bless you. And I hope SSP Nicholson take my request. Okay, thank you.
Right, Justice. Thanks for the commendation. But just let you know that sometimes it's the corporation of witnesses and we approach. So sometimes when you are called, sometimes another JP is available, and that's why the Custos is making as much available as possible. And the truth be told, sometimes when you're in an investigation and you are reaching somewhere, you just want to get it out of the way right there and then. So that's how it is. So it is not a matter of choosing. Sometimes I have sent to pick up JP at 12 midnight. I'll pick up JP 6 in the morning, 4 in the morning. So we have various times, but the truth be told, there are some delicate investigations that we have. And when we get the witness and we need to record it, probably it's a golden opportunity, and we have know that it's a perfect timing. So I'm just saying it's not something that we determine. Sometimes it's how the witness, the availability of the witnesser. So I hope you understand. It's a flexible thing. It's not something that we designate a particular time. It's not a regular statement. It is something that when it comes to us, we'll take it as quick as possible and as accurate as possible. But thanks for your comments.
Okay then, and thank you very much. And I am also available any hours of the night, because I hear you say you pick up JP at some various hours. So you can call on me on it at any time in the evening and early in the morning. All right?
Thank you so much for your contribution and your dedication to the work that you do, Mr. Luars, Justice of the Peace. And we want to move straight into Damar Stewart, another Justice of the Peace. And you can go ahead, open your mic and ask your question or make your comment.
Good evening, moderators.
Evening.
Nicholson, good evening, all. There is a concern that I have with the loud music that are being played on the public transportation. I know the Noise Abatement Act and the Road Traffic Act, covers that it is illegal to operate a motor vehicle with audio equipment that they produce noise exceeding 110 decibel. And not only that, the content of the songs that are being played. Sometimes ago, I drove by a bus, and when I listened to the songs playing on the bus, it brought tears to my eyes, knowing that my son could have been on that bus. So I think more could be done where that is concerned. I'm not so sure if these are offenses that are being prosecuted, because sometimes I see the police riding by the buses and the noise is just loud on these buses, and the lewd songs that are being played, it's really concerning. So I know that the team working very hard, but I don't know if some emphasis can be placed on these. Bishop spoke about the operations of the buses and taxis on the road. It's very concerning. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much, Mr. Stewart. We will ask our teams out there on the street to pay keen attention to this and as best as possible, prosecute where we can. All right, we do agree that it is an issue and it is something that we want to, as best as possible, address.
So we'll take Mrs. Lola Greenblake and then we'll move to the chat. There are some questions there and we want to ensure that all our listeners get their appropriate and necessary feature. So Mrs. Blake, go right ahead.
Right. Thank you very much. Good evening, Sir Nicholson and team. Right. So I have a question and an observation. First, let me take the opportunity to commend the division on the reduction in murder or major crimes, whichever it is. I just like to commend the division on that achievement, and I pray that it will continue through for 2026 and onward. My concern is that I don't know if this is a trend, but I've noticed that persons have been going through the light. The light is on red, and it has happened on several occasions that I'm at the light, and it happens right across the division. Somebody will just drive around, and I'm not saying no, it's only the operators. They just drive around you, and they just go through the light. I don't know whether the CCTV, we have CCTV across the division, and if so, whether that is being used or if that can be used to help to cauterize that issue. I believe it's a significant issue, and it is going to cause a serious problem, I believe, down the road if it continues. The other observation is that, and I noticed I heard the mayor was on. It's just a little concern. The roads in this division, especially Spanish Town, are bad. How has that impacted how the police do their work? Have the bad roads have any significant impact on how the police do their work? And that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, madam. I'll start with the last question first. The bad roads has impacted the police response time, because as a divisional commander, I implore on them, you're going to try and reach here safe, not just in a timely manner, try and reach here safe, and not necessarily to speed. There are some roads, some main thoroughfares that have really delayed the response time of the police officers, and it is a cause for concern. I have had discussion with MPs and so forth, and one or two of them have been addressed, but quite a few of them needs to be address, but it's an infrastructural problem, and I think we have gone through the relevant both municipal roads and NWA roads. Some of them it does affect our response time, but we try our very best because our aim is to get to the citizens safe and to take them if they need to, whether to the station or to the hospital, wherever it is, safely. So that's the first part. The other question, and thanks for the commendation as well. The other aspect of it with the traffic lights, some of these traffic lights, they do have CCTV, and we have even over the hospital, we have had an accident out there where the CCTV had assisted us, and along the bypass as well. Quite a few traffic lights are close by, they have CCTVs, but I think we need more. And especially the PPV vehicles, it is really a system of enforcement that has to treat with these things, treat with these infractions. What we realize is that the tickets don't really help. A lot of them have been ticketed. A lot of them, the motorcycle drive them down, ticket them, and tomorrow they come and they do the same thing. And that's why I find them with 40, 50, 100. I heard that one has over 200 tickets recently, just last week. So they have been ticketed. And I know in short order it's going to catch up on them because the judges are now signing the warrants. But it's something cause for consideration. But we have used it, but most in accidents we have used some of the CCTV to treat with it. But it's a valid point, madam.
All right.
Thank you very much, SSP.
And thank you so much, Mrs. Blake. So
Right.
we'll move over to the chat to get some comments and questions from our listeners. Henry Williams says, I am having a problem with a garage that was established in my scheme, that's Westchester, some time ago. The persons who operate that garage uses my avenue as the testing road for those cars. And the worst,
And they are
oh,
worse.
they are worse than bikes when the silencers are removed, especially at night when the traffic on the road is less. What can be done about this to assist us on our avenue? Sir Nicholson, any feedback on that, sir?
I know the mayor is on. They can get a cease and desist order from the mayor, which we can enforce as well. Normally we do a joint thing with the municipal corporation in treating with this for them to operate, not to operate where they are not supposed to, and also to we normally start off with a warning. But if there's a situation, a lot of these vehicles may have been unfit, so we take them, seize them, and have the motor vehicle examiner examine them to ensure that they are to give the certificate that they are unfit and so forth. But we normally work along with the municipal corporation to first to try and bring a stop. But the next thing is to actually seize them up while they're operating like that. But where did he say? Where is this?
Westchester.
Westchester is in St. Catherine South, as far as I'm aware. But that's still my advice to you. Liaison with the municipal corporation and then go to the traffic police in Portmore.
All right, thank you, sir. There's a concern of speeding on the federal road in Signum. Janet Campbell is saying that the citizens of the federal road in Signum off Old Harbour Road, drivers are using this as an escape road to avoid traffic on the Old Harbour Road, and they're concerned that speeding can lead to something later down the road, and they're asking for assistance to have this
speed bumps
rectified.
They're asking for speed bumps to
Right.
be erected.
Right. And I don't know if the mayor is still on, but that is a police that sleeps that we normally place in this area. Yes, the sleeping police, the speed bumps, to try and slow them down. So you can work along with whether the developer, your councillor, to see how we can get a few in. But we are taking notes of it, and hopefully probably when we go to council meeting.
I'm listening, SSP. I'm still on.
Wonderful. Okay, great, sir. Yes, sir. So probably councillor, probably we have to go later with the councillor to see if we can get some speed bump, because it's only a matter of time before a child can be hurt, because sometimes the child is a community, it's a residential area, and anything can happen at any time. So I think speed bumps are the most ideal things for these who are using the community as through roads when there are no through roads.
Okay,
Wonderful.
Commendation coming in here from Tika. She said, as a businesswoman from on the outskirts of Spanish Town, the excellent job of the St. Catherine North Police reflects on positive at my bar and restaurant. So we're happy that you're seeing those results, Tika, and thank you for commenting that.
All right.
So going through the chat.
All right, so this one now is from Charmaine. And she's saying that there is some music on the Old Harbor Road, and that is causing her some trouble sleeping and causing her to have headaches at night. But we don't know if you could give us a little bit more information, Charmaine, as to the location or the vicinity where that music is being played. That would greatly assist us in terms of giving some attention to it. All right. And this one is from Beverly Hamilton. Go ahead, Ms. Moore.
What are the plans to address this issue? St. Jago South near the Tredegar Park area has quite a few house break-ins. So she's asking what are the plans to address this issue in the Tredegar Park area. House break-ins has been on the increase, she's saying. A request was made for regular patrols, especially during the daytime working hours. So are you saying you're not seeing these patrols, Miss Hamilton?
And while you ask that question, I know Inspector Williams did a walkthrough, spoke to the residents there on some target hardening issues. We have also held on to, I don't know how relevant it is. I know a few months ago, I don't know if it is still the same, because we have held on to a few persons we believe were going around in St. Jago South and a few other communities. We have held on to some persons. So I just hope that the persons who have suffered have reported it, so we can come and dust to see if we can find fingerprint, because we do have some person in custody, but some of the times the complaints only come on a social media or on a forum like this, and they don't come to the station and make a report, so our senior crime can dust it to get fingerprint and find evidence. Because when we hold on to some persons, they tend to if we have more than one, if we have multiple charges for these persons, they are less likely to get bail. But when it's a one charge, sometimes they get bail. So we want to prove to the court that they are habitual. So I just want I know Mr. Williams has a contact for somebody around here. So we'll speak to the specificity of what is going on there and to see what we can do. But we have visited it before, so we just have to look back at it and to see where we are.
Right, that was a comprehensive response.
Just want to add to that. I'm right here, sir. Right. What I'll do, a day in this week, I'll pay a visit to the community to get a feedback in terms of, get some more information in terms of what is happening around it. But I just want to encourage citizens that you can call us and we will act on what you said. It may take a while, but we will surely act on whatever information in confidence that you share with us.
Right.
Thank you.
Voice of our territorial officer.
That's right.
The acting DSP, Ishmael Williams. So Miss Hamilton says the patrols have started, however, she has not seen them in a while. So we will get on top of that for you and your community, Miss Hamilton. Thank you so much for that concern. So we had Mr. Paul Armstrong who raised his hand. Are you still there, Mr. Armstrong?
That is Paul Armstrong. All right, seems we may have lost him there. All right, and we have the final comment that is from Lorraine Edwards in the chat, and she says that she's asking if the police can do spot checks at some of these fast food restaurants, that they can nab some of these loud mufflers and motorcycles. All right, so I think she's providing some advice on a strategy that could be utilized there to assist in catching some of these motorcycles and the fast moving vehicles so that we can prosecute them. Thank you very much for that, Ms. Edwards.
And to
yes. Paul Armstrong is here now, please.
Go ahead, Mr.
Go ahead, Mr. Armstrong.
Yes, good evening to the moderator and to everybody. And say good evening to the police for doing such a wonderful work under limited resources. Yes, but I have just a simple question because I am living in the St. Jago South, and what Mrs. Hamilton said earlier on, that is part of it, so I won't go there with that. But the part as it in Spanish Town, from the Greendale crossing to the Shoppers Field crossing, where the traffic always build up to cause a major traffic hazard or something. What can be done, especially at the Shoppers Fair and the White Church Street intersection there? That is a sore point that causing a lot of traffic. That is one. And the final little point that I want to make is Spanish Town is in a growing state now, to coming back to its former glory. And when I look at most of the corner where the male figure, like myself, would go to urinate, can the council install like a, what would you call it now, like a public sanitary convenience for these male to go to urinate? So whenever time the police catch them, there is no excuse for them because something is provided for them. That is my little thing on it. Thank you. Hello?
I can just quickly respond.
Yes,
Yes.
go ahead, Mr. Scott.
All right. There is one major sanitary convenience in Spanish Town. It's at the corner of Friend Street and Beckford Street. But our municipal areas, the transportation centers, they all have public sanitary conveniences. So I think those, based on the proximity of these areas, they should be able to help persons who want to use those places. But I raised my hand earlier a while ago just to speak about an issue. And SSP, the Brunswick Avenue area between Brunswick Street, Young Street, Cumberland Road, right in that area there, we have placed the necessary signage, no stopping on one side. We have done the marking on the sidewalk to show that the yellow means no vehicle should be parked there. And we are having a serious congestion in that general area, just between AJ's, Irie Jerk, and those bars right in that area. I'm going to be asking for a meeting with you, sir, so that we can look at a way to enforce removing those vehicles that are parked illegally.
Noted, Erosion.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Scott, for that.
Can I make a comment?
Just a follow-up to what the mayor was alluding to as it relates to legal parking. Can I say something? Just a follow-up. This is Councillor Rose.
This is Mr. Sidney Rose?
Councillor?
Yes, sir. Councillor.
Councillor Rose?
Yes.
Okay, good evening to you. We can go ahead.
Good evening to you. And this is a welcome initiative by the St. Catherine North under the leadership of SSP Upton Nicholson. But I must say that there are some similar challenges in the Linstead area, and I would want us to pay attention to the illegal parking and vending too in the Linstead area, because when I see police service unit have to be escorting a JUTC bus through the township, it begs for something to be done at the earliest possible time. And SSP Upton Nicholson, you can speak to it as well, because I saw you on occasion getting out of your unit and have to be directing vehicles through the township as well. So you are au fait with what I'm speaking about. So I'm asking for some assistance in that regard as well.
Sir Fennel, I can't raise my hand and I notice somebody is before me.
Oh, apologies there, Mr. Edwards. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, sir. And this is to the mayor, Sir Scott. There's a lot of garbage in front of the mainland supermarket and along Marchpen Road. It seems like there's nowhere else for the people to put their garbage. No skip or anything is there. Can some skips be placed there, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, man. Bishop Edwards?
Yes, sir.
This is Sidney Rose. I am the chairman of the Health and Sanitation Committee for the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. And public cleansing doesn't fall under us. It falls under the National Solid Waste Management Authority, but we do have meetings with them from time to time. And we would have asked for them to clean up all of those spaces in terms of mini-dump, but we cannot speak to putting skips because it is not our forte to treat with garbage collection. So we can speak with the National Solid Waste Management Authority to see if they're in sync with something like that. But we are not the responsible agency for garbage, but we do have meetings where they attend and I chair, and we could bring that to their
Yes, it's a
attention.
sore eye. It's a sore eye, especially before
Yes.
major supermarket like that, you know.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you could
Just
deal
a
with them.
follow-up, Mr. Edwards,
Yes, sir.
Bishop Edwards, again, and Councillor Rose. Skip is not an kind of thing that I really subscribe to, because I will tell you this. If you look at the areas where skips are posted, the citizens in those areas ask for them to be removed. Reasons? They throw dead animals, dead things in it. They carry stench. They light them. And almost every place that there's a skip, I get the complaint, we want it moved. However, the mini dumps, as the council alluded to, is something that is very disheartening and is creating uglification in the town. And we really bemoan the issue. And we try it as much as possible. But I'm glad that you make mention of it, Bishop, because on this platform now, there are several business owners, business operators, who all they do, they pay a little ANCAT man $1,000 or $1,500, and some of these ANCAT men are of unsound mind to remove their garbage. And that's where they end up. So I'm glad you make mention of it. So I'm going to be imploring the business owners and business operators to try and have a contract with a legitimate garbage contractor to remove your garbage, so that we won't have the kind of unsightliness that we are having. And they say uneasy is those who wear the crown. Although it is not my responsibility, but it is, because it's me the people call. Thank you.
Right. Thank
Well said, Mr. Mayor. This his question is towards SSP now. Is there a ticketing system that you could give to these people, business people, who keep dumping the garbage on the street? Is there a ticket you could give them, sir?
No, the NSWMA has a system, and the municipal have a system where they but we have the Anti-Litter Act that we can charge, but we'll have to we'll have to find some proof. But it's normally a multi-agency. We normally work along with the NSWMA and the municipal corporation to enforce these kind. We normally start with education and then we enforce where that is concerned. And also the health, Ministry of Health, the health persons as well to show, to display some things. All right? But
thank you so much,
I
SSP.
understand.
We'll take our final comment now from the St. Catherine, the Spanish Ministers Fraternal, and we will look to wrap this program in a matter of 2 minutes. So go ahead, sir, or ma'am, who's representing the Spanish Ministers Fraternal.
All right, good evening, each and everyone. SSP Nicholson, I want to take the time out to commend you also for your presentation and to your entire team for the awesome work that they are doing. Also, SSP, I want to also give you thank you also for sending your representative yesterday to our fasting and prayer service. DSP George Dixon, he represented you well and he did an awesome job. All right. I have a concern. I am processing as the chairman for the Spanish Town Ministers Fraternal. In my church community, recently, a friend of mine and also a business owner almost suffer or lost his life, I should say, because of the business that he do in Spanish Town. He was approached by hoodlums for extortion, and because he refused, they sent men to his home. So I have a little concern, and I know your presentation couldn't cover everything, and also a question in it. I'm wondering if the JCF is pressing, the area of extortion. How if there's a lot of emphasis is still placed on that, because for me, I think that these criminal gangs they strive because of under the table, and I know the police don't know a lot of what is happening under the table extortion that is happening. Their network keep floating there and then. So I'm wondering if a lot of emphasis is being placed on that, because we need to cripple their organization, and one of the ways to cripple the organization is to cut the funding in every way that these guys are getting.
Right. Minister, I'm gonna stop you there. Right. Yeah,
Right.
I think you have my number. I think your person have my contact. We'll speak further.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's what I can respond to in this forum. All right. But I will speak further. We'll speak further. One of your party have my number. Just let us speak tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah. Sir.
Thank you so much, Reverend Seymour. Thank you so much, SSP Nicholson, for coming on and sharing this episode of the Family Empowerment Virtual Discussion with the Commanders of. Thank you for listening. And we've had a number of our participants. Thank you so much for a number of our stakeholders coming on. I saw Ms. Opal Davies, the National Council President for the Neighborhood One Force, and we're grateful for your presence. Thank you again for making our first episode of 2026 a success. Thank you for listening and for participating. I look forward to see you over the rest of this year as we meet on the
Right. And we want to thank you for joining us consistently month after month as we aim to educate the family, and this is what we do. And I want to let you know that our next program is scheduled for the 22nd of February. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an exciting one. We are going to be looking at balancing relationship and man in job. So we know that February Valentine's month of love, so to speak, and so we want to look at that aspect of it, and we'll be looking at that on the 22nd of February. So look out for the link, go to, and feel free to share and let others join on the program so that so we have been your hosts. I am Sergeant Kester Fennell.
And I am Corporal Chantel Powell. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to see you on the 21st of February, 2026. 22nd of February, 2026. God bless you and walk good.
Have yourselves a great evening.